Hello students, yesterday we start our new chapter, that is matter and its composition, and we completed the few topics like types of matter, properties of matter, and characteristic of a particle of matter and Brownian movement. Today we will discuss about kinetic molecule theory of matter. Kinetic molecule theory of matter. So what is the main postulates of kinetic molecule theory of matter is what? Okay, so the main postulates of kinetic molecule theory of matter are: matter consists of minute particles like atom, ion and molecules. Matter consists of minute particle. All these particles are identical in all respect. Okay, or matters are made up of minute particle. Second point, there are force of attraction that exist between this particle. So in between the particles there are some force. That force is called intermolecular force of attraction, and this force vary from solid to liquid or to gas. Okay, and third point, all particles have a definite arrangement. Okay, all particles have a definite arrangement in a matter. And fourth point is the space between the particles are called intermolecular space. That is intermolecular space. The arrangement also give rise to space between the particle. And all particles are constant random motion due to kinetic energy. There are random motion between the particles, and why this motion take place? Due to kinetic energy. Now we go through the three phase of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas. Okay, now states of matter, characteristic of states of matter. We differentiate solid, liquid and gas. Okay, solid is what? Solid have a definite mass, shape and volume, but liquid definite volume and mass but not a definite shape, है ना? And gas possesses neither a definite shape and nor volume but have definite mass. And this second, high density, but in liquid density lower than solid, because density lower than solid. The density of liquid are lower than those of solid. And and in gas they have very low density. Intermolecular force, this is IMF, are very strong. What is that IMF? Intermolecular force is very strong in solid, but in liquid intermolecular force less than solid, but in gas that is negligible. Okay, now no intermolecular space in solid, intermolecular space more than solid, or intermolecular space in gas maximum. Okay, in solid they are highly rigid, so they cannot flow. Okay, but liquid are less rigid, they can flow. Okay, or in gas are not rigid. Here gas are not rigid, hence they can flow in all direction. The last point, solid on the basis of kinetic theory. What is that? Very low, है ना? तो molecule in a solid are very closely packed, and the particles are lying side by side with a little space between the molecule. Thus the particle having very small degree of freedom. What is that degree of freedom? Motion between the particle, है ना? and they can only vibrate about their main position as the space between the molecules is limited in the solid. And liquid, the basis of kinetic theory. So what is that? High kinetic theory. So why we said this ki liquid has the very high kinetic theory, high kinetic energy. According to kinetic theory of matter, the molecule or particle of liquid are loosely packed in the liquid. They are loosely packed compared to solid, and there are greater space between the molecule, and the intermolecular space increases as the number of molecule per unit volume leisure, and the liquid has lower density. Okay, so we can say that high kinetic energy in the liquid, and gas on the basis of kinetic theory, it is highest kinetic energy. In this state of matter, the molecule occupy the entire vessel in which the gas is spread, and the number of particle per unit volume is very small. Okay, now clear now all of you that what is the differentiate between the solid, liquid and gas, and their characteristic also, states of matter. Now our next topic is interconversion of state of matter. In this topic we discuss about the interconversion, that solid change into liquid and liquid change into gas. So on the basis of kinetic molecular theory, we discuss about how solid change into liquid and liquid change into gas. What happened when solid change into liquid? How that solid change into liquid? When temperature increase, that solid change into liquid, and when again temperature increase, the process liquefaction the process vaporization, through this process vaporization the liquid change into gas, and gas again change into solid. This process is called gas change into solid. This process is called deposition. And the conversion, again the exchange conversion hai na, that is solid change into gas. So how that solid change into gas? When the temperature low, the temperature is low, and that is the molecule of solid, what happened? The molecule of solid change into gas है ना. Molecule of solid are closely connected है ना, तो it closely connected, closely packed है ना. So now solid change into gas and gas change into solid, that is deposition. When solid change into gas, that is sublimation. Okay, when directly solid change into gas, here the arrow, wrong arrow, the solid change into liquid, that is melting. Okay, and liquid change into gas, that is vaporization, and gas change into solid, that is deposition. Okay, and again the gas change into solid change into gas, that is here solid, liquid and gas. Okay, solid change into liquid, that is melting. Liquid change into gas, that is vaporization, and gas change into solid, that is deposition. Okay, now again the reverse process take place. The solid change into gas, that is sublimation है ना. gas change into liquid, that is liquefaction, and liquid change into solid, that is freezing. Okay, clear all of you? Now the factor is temperature. So interconversion of matter is the change of matter from one state to another and back its original state. Okay, and it does not involve change in mass. When the states of matter change, solid, liquid or gas, no change of mass or composition take place. Okay, now we discuss about this term. So what is melting point? So melting point is what? The temperature in which a solid substance change into its liquid state at 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay, so 1 atmospheric pressure is what? 180 atmospheric pressure. Okay, so this 180 m, 180 m. So the temperature at which a solid substance change into a liquid state at 1 atmospheric pressure, that is what? 760 mm of Hg है ना. तो is called fusion or melting point also. It is called melting point or it is also called fusion. Okay, now the next point, freezing. So freezing is what? The process of changing a liquid into a solid by cooling it is called freezing. Or freezing is also called solidification. Freezing is also called solidification. Okay. On next, the evaporation. Evaporation is what? The phenomena involve the changing of substance, liquid to gas, that is called evaporation, and it is also called vaporization. And now the our freezing, melting and evaporation completed. Now boiling point. So what is boiling point? So the process in which a liquid substance change into a gas rapidly on heating, that is boiling. Okay, and boiling of a solution is higher than that of the pure liquid. Okay, now the next term is condensation. Boiling completed. Now condensation. So the phenomena involve the changing of substance from gases to its liquid state at a particular temperature is called condensation, and this condensation is also called liquefaction. Now sublimation. The last point is sublimation. So changing of solid. So in the sublimation, what happened? The solid directly change into liquid, that is solid change into liquid and it change into gas. But in sublimation process, solid directly change into gaseous state. Okay, so the changing of a solid directly vapor on heating or vapor into solid on cooling is called sublimation. Okay, and the reverse process of sublimation is called deposition. What is the reverse process? That gas directly change into solid, that is deposition. Okay, now thank you.